everyone, and welcome back to another Facebook Friday. Once again, I'm Dr. Alan Van Scoyk, and I'm joined with Dr. Botros here at the Chiropractic Company office in Glendale, Wisconsin. Today, we're going to be talking about spines. I know we talk a lot about spines, but today we're going to be talking about a certain part of your spine, and that's actually the curves of your spine. A lot of our patients come in and they wonder, is their spine in a healthy position? Is it not in a healthy position? Is it supposed to have curves? Is it not supposed to have curves? So today we're going to talk about where those curves are supposed to be and how they should look. And then we'll talk about some common things that we're seeing right now, specifically with all the issues at home and some things that you can do to help that out. Dr. Botros, tell us a little bit about your spine.
So the spine, it depends on the view in which you're looking at it, whether you're looking at it straight forward, head on, or you're looking at it from the side profile view. These different views will show us whether we want the spine to be perfectly straight or if we want to see those curves. So a great example is looking at your spine from the side view. So as you'll see, Dr. Van Scoyk has this beautiful model here with different colors for the different regions of the spine. And you'll see there that there are these different curves that go from the neck, mid-back, all the way down to the low back and the sacrum. And the reason we have that is for your body to be able to absorb the shock of daily movement and use of those joints. We'll probably get into that a little bit later, but one thing that we'll see when we lose those curves, and particularly in the neck or in the low back, is there's a lot more impact on those joints, and that causes them to degenerate and can actually begin to pinch these nerves. So a great example you can think of is if I told you to jump right now but don't bend your knees, and you jump and you just land on your knees when they're perfectly locked in, it's going to put a lot of pressure on those joints. It's the same thing every time you're walking, jogging, exercising, getting up from a seated position. You're putting a lot of pressure on these joints, so you want to make sure that they have that curve so they can absorb that shock, distribute it evenly along those spinal vertebral discs, and so that way we take the pressure off those muscles, discs, and nerves.
Absolutely. You know, when we look at a spine from the side, once again, it should absolutely have a curve. But the curve itself is supposed to be in a certain position. If it's too little of a curve, once again, like Dr. Botros said, then the shock doesn't get absorbed properly. However, if there's too much of a curve, the same thing happens. Once again, think of like the shocks on your car, which are curved coils that compress, or like a spring. And if that is already all the way compressed, there's not going to be much shock absorption. And the same thing happens for your spine. And in the office, we see both circumstances. We see patients that have straightened out their spine, and we see patients that have too much of a curve in their spine. Each one comes with different problems, but neither of them is healthy for you. However, when we look at you from the side, like I said, there should be curves. Dr. Botros, what happens if we look at you straight on? Should we see curves when we look at a spine straight on?
So hopefully not. So if you have a healthy spine, when we look at you straight on, everything should be stacking right on top of each other to be perfectly straight and aligned. It does include not just these bones in the vertebrae of your spine, but the hips as well as the shoulders. So we don't want to see things being uneven anywhere when we're looking straight forward here.
Absolutely. And same thing, like I said, the spine is designed to hold your body up against gravity. So it does have to have a certain straightness to it to manage that stress. Think of the supports on your house. If you buy a board that's too warped in all sorts of different directions, it's not going to be stable. So the spine is designed to be stable in one direction and flexible in the other direction. But if it starts moving out of its norm in either direction, if it goes too far, then there's going to be problems. When we see a curve in patients that's in the straight-on plane, then there's certain classifications that come with that. Traditionally, if it gets to about 10 degrees or further, it's clinically described as a scoliosis. Now, scoliosis can come in a variety of different forms and a variety of different reasons. However, when we see a patient with that type of curvature, like I said, you're going to see it on an x-ray report or classified by us as a scoliosis. Now, there's lots of different ways to manage that, but once again, helping out those joints and tissue structure to grow and move properly are a big part in helping out. Now, one area that we see a lot of issues currently, like we said before, is in this small space in through the top. Now, this lavenderish color that you're seeing right here, once again, is your cervical spine. And when we look at the spine, it should have a nice, soft, gentle curve to it, once again in this direction. As we move down to your thoracic spine, it should have the opposite direction, once again creating a good shock absorber as it transitions through. However, with sitting at home, we're seeing some issues with this. Dr. Botros, what kind of things have you seen in through the cervical spine?
So I've seen where we're looking at the neck from the side view, like Dr. Van Scoyk is showing us here, and the neck actually becomes very, very straight in people as young as teenagers, unfortunately. And this is something that we should not be seeing at any age, quite frankly, yet alone at such a young age. And just as he mentioned, working at home or being on your phone, looking down, studying for long periods of time, it shifts that head forward and causes that neck to lose its curvature, and again adding more stress on those delicate structures in the neck, low back, and even in the mid back here too.
So as this part of your spine flex forward, once again you're taking that natural curve out and once again creating a straightness. Now muscle runs up and down. So now not only are you once again losing that shock absorptive capability, but you're taking those muscles and stretching them out tremendously. So like Dr. Botros said, you're going to have issues in a variety of different ways. One of them, once again, is from a structural compressive issue, and now also from a muscular issue. Once again, the nervous system also runs through there as well. So you're far more likely to have compression of that nervous system and a lot of neurologic issues. The upper portion becomes compressed. We're seeing a lot of patients coming in with headache issues, spacey, brain fog, things along those lines. Once again, over and over, we're seeing that problem. As we look at our workstation, as we look at, watching texting, looking at phones all day long, our head is continually moving into this forward posture, which once again, for long term, will straighten that out. Now, if I were at home and figured out, oh man, I'm doing this on a regular basis, what are some exercises or some things that I can do to help bring myself back into good posture?
It's a great question. So one of my favorite things is to work on laying on your back with some kind of rolled up towel, nothing too big, maybe like a hand towel. So it'll be the thickness or the diameter of a Coca-Cola can or some kind of beverage like that. And you'd be laying on the floor or on a yoga mat, and you'd have that to gently guide that curve in the back of your neck as you lay relaxing. This is a really nice way and a gentle way to help bring and stretch those tight muscles in the front of the neck that are so used to being contracted from all the downward looking that we're doing, and to stretch them out so that it gives us an opportunity to open up those joints and loosen up those muscles.
One of my favorite exercises, very similar to that, is we want to find out what good posture is. And so I have patients find a flat wall and bring themselves against that wall. And as they do that, their shoulder, their back, their head should all meet up at the same point. For our patients who are starting to look forward, their head comes forward, and when they try to get that head, they end up staring at the ceiling. But once again, this is the exact same posture and the same straightness of your neck. So what we want is our patients to be in this position where their eyes are level with the horizon and nice and even. This is where good posture is. So to practice that, I have patients step away from the wall and then just go a little bit further, trying to keep their head in that same direction. As a result, we're once again, same thing, stretching out all these tissues and getting your body used to being where good posture should be. Once again, if you're up against a wall and you find yourself where your head is coming forward, it's not comfortable to be in this position, start working on bringing it back so that you can be in that perfect curvature for your spine. If you do have questions about this, or if you have concerns that you might not be able to do this on your own, you might need some help, we're here to help you. Once again, come talk to us about it. We'll get you some exercises. We'll check to see if there's some damage that we need to work with that you might not be able to address on your own, but we'll know that when you come on in. So once again, my name is Dr. Van Scoyk, and I'm joined with Dr. Botros. Give us a call at the Chiropractic Company in Glendale, and we'll be happy to help you out. Otherwise, we have some fun things planned for next week. We've already got some interesting topics, maybe talking a little bit about some bugs. You never know. But join us next week. We might be doing our Facebook on Wednesday just to mix it up a little bit. So pay attention for that. Keep an eye out for us. And once again, when you're not here in the office, make sure you're staying healthy. Take good care of yourself, and we'll talk to you next week.